Good day traders and investors. In this video we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin. We're going to talk about its long-term, mid-term and short-term outlook, and also we'll look at the possibility of Bitcoin reaching prices of 100,000 and above and make some projections of when this may occur. Now, in order for us to make such long-term projections about Bitcoin and address movements which from the current perspective need the price to triple if it's to reach 100,000, we need to go back in time and discuss the long-term history of Bitcoin. I'll show you the 3 previous major bull runs in the crypto market. I'm going to indicate some key points for you, and then we're going to get back to the present situation and see how this applies. So let's get it going. Over here we're looking at the Bitcoin chart way back at 2012-2013. Now you can notice that the chart is not that detailed, as simply there's not that much information on it from back then on the investing.com website, but still we can get some visual idea about it. To understand about the cycles and the bull runs in the crypto market, first, you need to learn of the so-called Bitcoin halving. A lot of you might already know what this is. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to give you a brief explanation. Bitcoins and generally cryptocurrencies are produced through a process called crypto mining. This mining is done from computers, which are running a complex mathematical algorithm, and in the process, they are generating units of the respective cryptocurrency. If you want to learn what the mining process of crypto is in details, you may look for more information on that online, but for the sake of this analysis, you don't need to understand it in that many details. Having that said, you need to understand that the main resource that crypto mining is utilizing is electricity. The process of mining is using electricity, which makes it the necessary resource for cryptocurrencies to be created. Now that you know that, I can tell you that the Bitcoin algorithm is designed in such a way that once a specific quantity of Bitcoin is mined, the Bitcoin reaches a point of the so-called halving, Bitcoin halving. Now, what the Bitcoin halving is, once it's reached, the pace with which Bitcoin is being mined drops halfway down. If the mining pace drops halfway down, this means that from this point onwards, there will be twice as much electricity required to mine the same Bitcoin quantity. Suddenly, the expense of the mining process becomes 2 times more expensive. Now, I'll tell you that since the Bitcoin has been released till now, there have been 3 Bitcoin halvings, which means that as of now, the mining process of Bitcoin is 16 times slower compared to what it was in the beginning, and respectively, it needs 16 times more energy. Now that you understand what the Bitcoin halving does and how it affects the production costs, you can probably understand that it's logical that after every halving, the price usually increases a lot. If you look at the chart over here, back on the 28th of November 2012 was the first Bitcoin halving. It happened when the price was around just $12. The price after that started increasing steadily. Over here it did a temporary jump, getting to over $230, dropped down, kept on fluctuating, but the real rally started around November 2013, or about 11 months of a difference. From this stage over here, the price reached the level of this previous all-time high of 230, and then it skyrocketed, reaching a level of about 1,200 in the next 1 month. Now over here I've indicated something that will be important a bit later in this video. You can notice that as the price reached this previous major high of about 220-230, it took the price about 1 week to increase with an extra 50%. In a bit you understand how this 50% is important. So, going further, you can notice that as the price reached an all-time high of 1,200, it started its descent from this first major Bitcoin rally. As we move further in time, you can notice that over here the price jumped a bit, kept on dropping even lower, and over here it got to the lowest point after reaching the 1200 level and before steadily starting to reverse for another rally. You can notice that over here there was a period of fluctuations up and down, and over here for the first time after nearly a year the price shot up again, reaching a level of about 500. Now I want to show you something very important here. If you look at the Bitcoin rally, you can notice that you had the initial jump that made this all-time high, then a massive drop, then another strong increase that took the price again very high for that time to about 950. Now if we look at this high level right over here and we trace it to the left side, we can notice that the price went up to the resistance that was created from this low point over here between the two big jumps. I'll show you how this is important in a bit. Moving a bit further, so the price made another strong drop from 500, went down to about 300, 40% of a pullback, fluctuated up and down for a while. And over here, on the 9th of June 2016, we got the second Bitcoin halving. Now at this stage, investors around the world were suspecting that there may be another Bitcoin rally in the following months, but they were not very certain in it, as so far it had happened only once. Moving further in time, we can notice that over here the price dropped a bit after this initial jump following the Bitcoin halving, and then started increasing, and over here from this point onward effectively the price broke above the previous major all-time high of 1200. The distance between the Bitcoin halving and the official beginning of the Bitcoin rally in this case is about 10 months. In the first occasion, the distance between the first halving and the official beginning of the rally was 11 months. So, looking over here, you can notice that a bit before this green line, the price did got over 1200, but very briefly before again descending down to the 900. This was not an effective breakout. The effective breakout happened from this point over here. So, the price after that went very high and reached a new all-time high over here of close to $20,000, about 19,900 to be precise. This rallying period lasted longer compared to the first one. It took the price about 8 months from the point in which it broke the previous all-time high to the point in which it reached the new all-time high. Over here, after the beginning of the rally, again we indicated how long it took for the price to go up with 50%. In this occasion, it was about 3.5 weeks. So, moving further in time, again you can notice that as the price went up, it made a major high, did a strong pullback, and then another massive jump that got to 17,000 before the price transiting into a solid bear market. Moving a bit further in time, we can notice that after this second bull run in Bitcoin, the price kept on dropping until it got as low as around 3,200 over here, which was the lowest point after the second Bitcoin rally before the price started going up again. Now over here, again we are having an intermediate increase, similar to how it was between the first and second rally. And if you give it a check, the high point of this intermediate increase of around 13,700 again aligns with the low points that were created between the two major high points of the second rally. Again, I'm reminding, if we go back to the first rally, you can notice that over here we had the same thing happening. So, going further in time, after this intermediate high point, the price started fluctuating, dropping. Over here there was a very sharp drop. This happened because of the beginning of the COVID pandemic, but relatively quickly the price recovered. And over here, on the 11th of May 2020, the third Bitcoin halving happened. From that point, the price fluctuated sideways, then started increasing bit by bit, and in December 2020, the price reached the previous all-time high and effectively broke above it. Again, we have the measurement for the 50%. In this third rally, the price took a couple of weeks to go 50% up above the previous all-time high. From here, the price kept on increasing and it reached a new all-time high on Bitcoin around 64,000, which happened in April 2021. Now, moving further, you can notice that the price did a strong pullback and then another massive increase, but this time the second massive increase made an even higher high, reaching close to 69,000. The one difference on this rally compared to the previous two is that over here, after this massive correction, the second big increase made a higher high, while in the occasion of the second rally, after the first big correction, the second jump made a lower high, and also such is the case on the first Bitcoin rally from back over here. There's the all-time high, there's the drop, and here's the second high point, which was lower. Going forward in time. Alright, so far we're having a lot of alignments of how the structure looks between all of the three previous major crypto cycles. After this all-time high of nearly 69,000, the price started descending and it kept on falling until it made a low point over here, a bit below 16,000, which happened in November 2022. And now, a year later, the price is sitting at a bit over 36,000. One last thing I want to show you on this big time scale over here. If you give it a check, this current high point over here is aligning with the low levels between the two major increases on the previous crypto rally. Similar to how it happened between the first and second rally and second and third rally. So let's now look a bit more locally on the situation. Let's look at this increase since the end of 2022. If you give it a look, we've been having a very obvious bullish market structure starting from this major low over here, going until here. Then you're having a pullback down to this level, another increase to this new major high point over here, then another drop making a new major low right over here, which is also from where the price jumped up again, and it's aligning with the previous major high. We move further, price jumped up from over here, and at this level it made a bit higher high point, so this is a new major high. From here it dropped down again to about over here. Now you can notice that this dropped to the level of the previous major low but couldn't break it. This is very important for those of you who know about market structure. You would know that if this price here dropped lower than the previous major low, this could have reversed the trend. But considering that it didn't and stayed on the same level, this means that the major uptrend is still valid. So from this level, we've been getting the current upswing, which has been moving like this. What we are going to do, from a daily chart, we're going to move to a 4-hour chart, and we're going to observe this region right over here from September 2023 and the price of 25,000. Let's give it a check. So this is the movement in question. Again, we're going to analyze the market structure, but on a smaller scale. The initial upswing starts from over here. Then we're getting a pullback, an increase that makes a higher high. This makes it a major low. Here we have a major high. Another pullback to over here. And then we're getting this huge impulsive increase that took the price to this major high over here. We're then getting another drop, higher high, drop, higher high over here at around 37,900, which is also the highest level of the recent up rally. And then we've been getting a pullback down to over here, which made this level a potential new major low. Now, zooming in closer, you can notice that for the last 10 days, the Bitcoin has been struggling to break out higher from here. To a high extent, this is because of the fact that the price is encountering the big horizontal resistance range that I showed you, which was created from the low point between the two increases of the last major rally. Now, looking at this situation, we need to point out that the next few days will be crucial for the short and mid-term development on the Bitcoin. I'll show you why. Over here, between the last major low point and this new potential low point, we can draw a support range. If the price drops down and closes a candle effectively below this range, this would be below 34,200, then this is going to break this green bullish market structure and set conditions for a temporary downtrend. Going back to the daily, if the price starts reversing now and starts dropping, then there are a couple of key levels where we can look for strong supports. The first one of those levels is located in this region over here between the 30 and the 31,500. There's many reasons why, but we can draw a range like this. You can notice that this was a major low point over here. In this region over here, it created a period of consolidation before the price broke lower. As the price was going up, this acted as a strong resistance on two occasions, over here and over here, before the price broke above it. So naturally, currently, it's acting as a support. And if the price starts retracing from here, producing a down correction in this bigger blue uptrend market structure, it can drop down in the range between 31,500 and around 29,500. Here we need to point out that there is a possibility for this level to be broken as well, in which case we can look for a lower support located around this region over here. The reason being, during this uptrend market structure, it acted as a resistance over here. Initially it was created from this high point right over here. Then, as the price broke above it, it acted as a support multiple times. Over here the price tested it twice before going up, then here it tested it 4 consecutive times before going up again. So if the price is to go down and break below this area, the next strong support we can look for is located around the 25,000 level. On the other hand, what if the price goes up and breaks above this short-term resistance around the 37,900? If this happens, the price can make its way up towards 39 to 40,000 in the short term. On a bit bigger scale, should this general increase continue, a new major resistance can be encountered over here at around 48,000, but in the range between 37 and 48,000, the price is going to enter a strong consolidation region that was formed over here from all of those movements, which might make it a bit more difficult for the price to climb up. Now, if the price goes down from this movement, this is going to create good conditions for long-term investors to consider buying at a cheaper price. The first opportunity can be given in this period over here between 29,500 up to 31,700, and if the price goes down to the 25,000, then an even lower price would be presented for the buyers. Before we go further and discuss the long-term projection for the Bitcoin, I need to mention something important at the current moment from a fundamental perspective. Today on the 17th of November, the SEC in the US needs to come out with information whether they're going to allow for the Bitcoin to be included in another ETF. As of now, there's about 14 ETFs that include Bitcoin. The first one of them was released in October 2021, right about over here. You can notice that after that, the price skyrocketed, producing an increase of over $25,000 in the next month. So, the current situation and decision from the SEC has both the potential to push the price very heavily up or to produce a significant correction, pushing the price down to around the 30,000 region or possibly even the 25. Let's now look at what the long-term story of Bitcoin says. Going back to our discussion regarding the Bitcoin halving periods, the next major Bitcoin halving is going to happen in April 2024. Now, this is the only specific thing that we know. Everything else that we are going to discuss would be a projection which will be based on historical data and cyclical movements. We've been noticing that with every following Bitcoin halving, the price reaches its previous all-time high quicker and quicker. So, following that trend, projections are that the price of Bitcoin can reach its previous all-time high over here around the 69,000 between October and November 2024. The rally, compared to the previous ones, gives a projection to last for between 4 to 6 months and may reach a major high point of this fourth cycle around March or April 2025. Here I want to remind you of those measurements of 50% increase that we've been doing after each occasion in which the price rallies back to the previous major all-time high. We have 3 occasions so far that we've measured. The first time it took a week, second time it took a month, third time it took a couple of weeks. For the Bitcoin to reach a price of over 100,000, after it reaches its previous all-time high, it needs to go up with nearly 50% so that this can become a fact. You can notice that with a 50% measurement, the price can reach 103,000. Judging by the history so far, we know that the moment in which the price reaches and surpasses the previous all-time high, a lot of attention is drawn to the crypto market and a lot of investors from all across the world start buying Bitcoin. This is why in the beginning those rallies are so strong, going up with an exponential pace. Assuming that it takes up to a month for the price to produce this 50% movement above the previous all-time high, this is setting a period for 100,000 price around December 2024, January 2025. The last thing I want to state over here is that even though the price of Bitcoin is so volatile, it makes extremely big corrections, and the truth is that in many occasions it's very unpredictable. One thing that it has proven so far is to be very easy to profit from if you behave like an investor and if you are patient. The occasion in which Bitcoin becomes very difficult is when people try speculating on it and start taking leveraged trades. You see, this instrument is volatile enough to produce extremely high returns even if you are buying it physically without using any leverage. Also, taking sell trades can be very risky because of the difficulty to make highly reliable short-term predictions. Let me know what you think of this analysis down in the comments. Share with me your thoughts if you're on a different opinion, and also let me know if you would like me to make a video in which we can explain the Bitcoin mining process in more details. See you next time.